welcome back, friends. All right, I have heard we are ready to save Kingdom of Hyrule with a little help from a good friend of ours named Nisenama. Are you ready to go and save Hyrule, friends?
I hope you guys are ready. Hello, everyone. My name is nisenama, and today I will be coming to you live from my underground bunker, approximately 1 kilometer underground, as you can see by the stalactites and stalagmites. Today we're going to be doing a run called All Dungeons Restricted SRM, and I'll just explain all that in a second, but I'm ready if you guys are ready. All right, so I'll count down from 3. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So, what is All Dungeons Restricted SRM? So, the definition of all dungeons, and this is going to be really important, so you better write this down. The definition for all dungeons is beating all of the dungeon bosses and entering the blue warp to get the medallion or stone based on whatever dungeon you're doing. And it is very important to know that you don't have to beat the final boss. However, we do have an incentive to beat the final boss if you're willing to watch a lot of lore to get there. But yeah, so that definition is important. Why is that definition important? Well, you're about to see things that may make you question reality as you know it. But the one thing you can really keep tethered onto is the fact that you have to beat the dungeon bosses and you have to get the medallions or stones from the blue orb. So let's go over some of the more simple questions. Why is my name what it is? My name is kind of a weird name. Well, you see, I'm actually named after my great-grandfather. I'm dedicating this run to him. He really loved Ocarina of Time a lot when he played it back in the 1930s. This is an old game if you didn't know. And why am I playing in Japanese? That is because this run is actually, well, it's not only possible in Japanese, but it has to be in the Japanese language eventually. Because of that file name. Because that file name is very important. So right now we're just watching the opening cutscene. I hope you guys like cutscenes because this is the last cutscene we're gonna see unless we fight Ganon. So when I gain control of Link, I'm gonna have to get a lot of money. You have to buy the shield to get to the Deku Tree, of course. And I'm also gonna need some Deku Nuts. So you'll see as soon as I exit Link's house, I'm gonna immediately start collecting money and getting the sword. And I just want to say, Doodleplex, if you have any questions, that we can have a little conversation during this run, right?
Sure, why not? I've actually never played this game, so this will be fun.
That's perfect. This will be a great introduction. You'll really understand everything that's happening for sure.
Uh-huh. Can't wait.
So right now we just gotta wake up Link because he's lazy. He's a lazy guy. That's like his one character trait at the beginning of the game. Important to know. All right. So we can go now. We just got to talk to our friend, Saria. It's not important because we're never going to see her again, but she's at least going to be happy to see us for a second. Okay, and then immediately we're just going to backflip off the house because we do not use ladders around here. And we're going to start getting money. We need to get 55 rupees like I was talking about, and we also need to get the sword. But we can't just get any old 55 rupees. The 55 rupees that we have to get are kind of important. Not entirely, but there are some rupees we actually don't want to get. Just because they're stinky. So here's the sword, in case anybody was getting lost as to where the sword was. And it is vanilla, of course. I know a lot of people are randomizer fans. I think you'll find most items in this game are in vanilla locations. Most of them, at least. We're not just gonna equip it just yet. That would be slow.
Now I do see you're jumping backwards. Is that faster?
Yes, so running backwards and side hops are the fastest form of movement normally in this game. Running forward is really slow, and you don't want to just like normally run forward. If you're gonna go forward, you want to roll. But if you're going long distances, you want to back walk.
That's interesting. There's so many different ways of going fast, and it's not the way of just running forward.
Yep. I feel like running forward in most games kind of usually is the worst option. Except for like the newer games with that, like sprints. If you can sprint, usually sprinting is faster.
Familiar with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. At least with Breath of the Wild, there is the whistle sprint. That one's kind of fun.
That's true. That's true. The whistle sprint. We love the whistle sprint, don't we? Did you know that there's whistle sprinting in Majora's Mask, actually?
I didn't. I haven't played that one either. I need to get on that. But please explain.
So there's a mask called the Bremen mask, and then you can play your flute while you're walking, and it's actually way slower than just running normally. But you can do it.
That sounds amazing. Is it something you can do with the regular game, or do you need to mod it to do that, or?
Oh, it's in the regular game. You can definitely do it in the regular game.
That sounds utterly cool. I really want to try that.
All right, so we got all the items we need. And now we're going to do our first instance of this category's namesake, SRM. Stands for Sale Reference Manipulation. And there's a really long-winded explanation I can give, but I don't think you guys really need to know all the details. Basically, I'm just going to do a bunch of really strange movements to put things in the actor heap in a very specific location in memory. So right now I'm going to run back and forth through this hallway a few times. Sometimes spin slashing, just for the fans. Alright, that seems good to me. Make sure Navi is out of the way. Navi can actually ruin your day there if you talk to her later. So I just did a trick called Return A. Basically, that just like locks the camera in this very specific location. That is important. For the next part of this trick that we're gonna do, I'm running all the way over to the crawl space. I need to make sure to hit this bush. This bush is very important. If I don't kill that bush, things are not gonna go well for us. So I'm gonna enter the crawl space and I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna talk to the sign while the camera's still locked. And this activates a glitch called walking while talking. And this is just another thing to mess with the camera. Now I'm gonna walk over to this rock. I did not mean to do that, but it's fine. And now I'm gonna hit the rock, which unlocks the camera, but locks it somewhere else. And then I'm gonna pick up the rock, which will unload the rock. And now I have to navigate. I have to navigate without being able to see, so I have to like listen to the music. And there we go. Now the camera is back to where it's supposed to be. And I'm holding something invisible over my head. Get used to this. Uh-oh. And I'm gonna drop that invisible thing at a very specific angle. And voila! I just did something. What did I do? Who knows?
Do you know what that invisible object is, or do you know it's just a mystery?
Yes. So it is the rock that was unloaded, and then something else loaded in its place. And that item pointed to a rock over by the crawl space. And that rock, if you load it for 1 frame, will load the title file. So like when the title sequence is playing, Link is like riding around on his horse or whatever. That file actually has a lot of items and actually every stone and medallion, but we're gonna have to delete some of those. So that way we can actually get them the normal way.
The normal way, like fading Ganon?
Now I have like every item in the game, basically, as you can see.
Well, okay then. All the hearts, all the weapons, that's well okay.
So you might think, okay, well, it's just simple from this point. Just go beat everything else in the game. Well, it's not as simple as you might think. I actually have to delete the medallions and the stones, so that way I can get them normally. And I'm gonna have to do a couple of other things just to speed up the process.
Don't go too fast. We want to meet that incentive where you fight Ganon.
That's true.
And you know how you do that,
So
chat?
true.
Put exclamation point donate in the chat. You go, you donate, and you make sure you click add and make sure that that money goes towards your incentive.
All right, so now I'm doing a trick called Bottle on B. Normally it is very useful for like item manipulation glitches, but we don't actually need to do that. We don't need it for the item manipulation glitches per se. We need it for another reason that I will explain later. It's gonna be a lot really quick. Alright, so there we go. Now I have Bottle on B. I also have 29 Deku Sticks because I had Fairy on C rights. Like I said, we don't need to go too in depth, but just know I now have 29 Deku Sticks for no real reason.
You're clearly going to have marshmallows later with those sticks.
Exactly. So now I'm going to do another SRM. Now that I have a lot of items, I don't have to do SRM in that really slow way that I was doing it before. We can speed things up a lot. Oh boy, I've gotten like, you can avoid getting those items and it will save time, but it's like completely luck. So here's a trick called a super slide. Usually you use it to move fast, but you can also pick up an invisible object if you go through a loading zone, which is more important for us here.
Do we have another rock?
So this actually, you can see Link kind of got a little big there. We're actually adult Link right now. But we're not going to stay adult Link. That would be cheating. We just want to equip one thing. We just need to equip the mirror shield. There's absolutely no cheating going on whatsoever right now. So all these like random movements I'm doing, this is to set up the actor heap in a very specific way. So that way when I pick up these invisible objects, I'm manipulating the exact thing that I want to manipulate. And it should be said that like every time I'm doing these angle setups, they are angle perfect. There are 65,000 plus angles in this game. And the angle that I need is literally one of those. So all these setups are very precise.
How in the world do you find all this stuff?
Lots of science. Lots and lots of science. Alright, so this SRM will delete the medallions and stones that we need to delete. And I got a bomb drop, which is huge. I'm gonna do a trick called a ground jump. Any randomizer players may know about the ground jump. That was just to get past the owl that usually will try and talk to you there. And now I'm doing yet another heat manipulation to do another SRM. So this SRM is going to be one of the more important ones for sure. I have to place this invisible item on a very specific X position. Right there. And now when I go in this hole, something special is going to happen.
Speaking of special, do I have time for a quick donation?
Of course.
I've got $25 from Gannon. Gannon says, "Hey, I really want to be part of this awesome run. You won't leave me out, right? Right?"
Exactly. I won't leave him out. It's not up to me, though. It's up to you guys.
That means we only have $50 left to fight Gannon. And I know, chat, you can do it. All you gotta do is ! Donate in the chat. Make sure you add it in your donation with the incentive at the bottom. And let's be Gannon, chat.
Alright, so there I was in an invisible pocket dimension, we'll say, for a second. But it's okay, we're back to the Lost Woods now. So we're doing another heat manipulation. This time we're actually going to be affecting the drop function of a different thing other than that bush. Very exciting, I know. There's your ladder content for today. Hope you enjoyed it.
It kept me on the edge for sure. Just throwing this out there, chat. I love puns, so if you want to give me a good Zelda pun, shoot him my way, put him towards that incentive, everybody wins here. Except for maybe Gannon.
Alright, and this is actually the last SRM for a very long time. For all you Zelda purists out there who hate what's going on with this game, don't worry. Your thoughts and prayers have been heard. So I need to try and stand in like a pretty precise spot here. And now I'm gonna just start nutting. That seems good enough. I almost forgot what song I was gonna play there.
No, since like I said, I've never played this game. How many songs are there in the game?
12, I think. I'm pretty sure there's 12. Uh-oh. Okay, this is probably fine. Okay, so a couple things just happened there, right? One, now I have Furor's Wind on my B button. Furor's Wind is going to be very important for this run because it's going to let us use this glitched entrance that we made with the hole earlier anywhere instead of just only in the non-boss rooms of dungeons. I also need to do another angle setup. Let me just consult the texts here, the ancient texts. Alright, that should be good. Okay, so now we're gonna finally fight our first boss. So all dungeons, like I said, the definition is you have to beat every boss and you have to get the dungeon item, the medallion or the stone from the blue warp. I didn't say anything else about the rest of the dungeon, so you may be starting to catch on to what's going to be happening in this run. Basically, I'm just going to warp to every boss, kill the boss, and then warp back. And that's going to be pretty much it.
Or in this case, bosses. I think there's 2 of them here in this one, isn't there?
There is, yes. So this boss has 2 phases. One of them is they're on like the brooms, and then the second is the booba lady. And this is why we needed to turn adult, just so that way we could have the mirror shield for this fight. This is the only fight that you can't do as child without SRM. You can technically do every other fight as child, even without SRM. Usually, you know, you're supposed to like be adult Link for the majority of the game. We're actually not going to be adult Link at all unless we fight Ganon.
Here's a question. How many bosses are there in total in this game?
Oh gosh, math. There are 8 bosses?
How about an $8 donation chain? Chat, one for each boss. Put it towards beating Ganon. Would Ganon count as the 9th boss?
Yeah, Ganon would be the 9th boss. And Ganondorf. I'd fight Ganondorf too. Just for the fans. So this first phase, it's like completely luck. You just kind of have to get lucky that these guys just don't fly around or like out of your line of sight for forever. It's even worse as Child Link because your like FOV is just worse. Wait, oh, I think that was 3. You have to hit him 4 times. I think I only hit him 3 times. I'm also very lucky that that did not hit me. All right, so that should be the first phase for real this time. And then the second phase is the phase where you can actually hit her and kill her. They combine into one. Go, man, go. And there you go. That's the first boss done. Some might say that that's the last boss in the game, but you know,
what do you mean by that?
Boss first. Well, technically, I think this is the last dungeon you're supposed to beat.
Gotcha.
So now these guys are gonna yap for a little bit about how awesome Link is or something, for sure.
Totally. I can 100% bet that's what they're talking about. Or maybe they're talking about how chat needs to put !donate in the chat and donate towards beating Ganon. Or fighting Ganon, rather. But you can't beat Ganon without fighting him, so come on, chat. $3 left. I'm sure you can do that. And like I said, we've got 8 bosses, an $8 train could help with that as well. Come on, chat. I believe in you. Hey, look, they're just so animated about us beating Ganon.
Yeah, they literally said, oh yeah. All right, so I had to make sure that I activated Furor's Wind on the very edge of the blue orb. This is the main reason why you need Furor's Wind on B. Normally, you can't use Furor's Wind in boss rooms for this exact reason. You can just skip the cutscenes. And when you combine that with the angles, you can actually just warp somewhere else. So now we're back into the Pocket Dimension, also known as the Spirit Temple. And we're going to be going to our next boss as soon as I remember what the angle is. Let's see. Okay. Alright, there we go. So naturally, the next boss after Twin Rova is Phantom Ganon. And Phantom Ganon as child, or really Phantom Ganon with Boomerang, is very unique. The guy is actually weak to Boomerang, believe it or not. Even though you can't normally use Boomerang as adult.
You know, I think I know what Ganon's thinking right now.
What is he thinking?
Well, I've got $8 from him, and he says, I want this link obliterated.
I'd like to see you try it, buddy.
Thank you so much, Ganon, for your help, but so far, chat, so far, Ganon, getting closer, but we're not there yet to actually seeing him. We're at $33. We need 75. Come on, chat. Let's beat Ganon.
All right, Doodle. So any thoughts so far on what you're seeing? I'm sure this is exactly what you would hope out of an Ocarina of Time experience, having never played the game.
It's definitely an experience to see. I've only played, in terms of Zelda games, Minish Cap, Breath of the Wild, and a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom. I need to play more Zelda. And this is totally what I was expecting. I will 100% say that.
All right, and so there I used a glitch called the Infinite Sword glitch. Basically, if you interrupt a thing that you can swing, so like the sword or the deck of sticks or the hammer on the last possible frame of a crouch stab, the sword will continue to swing constantly and can do damage every frame. So any boss that you like need to hit multiple times, which is actually all of them really, you can just infinite sword glitch them. And this guy, like I said, he's weak to Boomerang. Usually you have to play like tennis with him, but if you have the Boomerang, you can just throw the Boomerang and he instantly gets hit by it. So that's 2 bosses down, and I think we all know what's coming next.
Another donation?
Yeah, obviously.
Clearly. I have $8 from Cubs Rule 21. 1 ticket for the $8 train. And that puts us at $41 towards fighting Ganon. We're 34 away. We're getting closer, chat. Come on. Let's fight Ganon. Let's save Hyrule once and for all.
Alright, so up next, I'm sure we all know what comes after Phantom Ganon. That's right. It's Baronade. And so I should say the void that I'm using to continually void out, that is a very special void that is only in Spirit Temple. And it's the reason why a lot of these warps work. Usually when you void it, puts you to where your last loaded coordinates were. But usually that is really inconvenient for us, since boss rooms can be like anywhere, really. But that void actually takes you to the load zone of whatever area you're entering, which is very useful. And this is gonna be a battle, man. I can already tell. I thought I threw the boomerang, but I definitely did not throw the boomerang. Here, I'm just gonna take a sip real quick, refill my magic. All right, that's 2 phases down. This guy has 3 phases. Now I can actually hit him now that he's gotten all of his jellyfish or whatever killed. And you may have noticed that I've been taking damage this whole time. I've gone down from 14 hearts down to like 2.5. I'm gonna need to die here, as one does.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna need to pass away. I got a fairy earlier though, so it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Ah.
Alright, so while this blue warp is loading, I'm going to equip this and I'm gonna use Din's Fire. This is just gonna delay talking to Rudo. And now I died, but don't worry, I have a fairy. Everything's fine.
So it wasn't the boss that was killing you, you were killing yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't losing. I was losing on purpose, if anything. And this is just to let us use Furor's Wind in this blue warp. This blue warp is special. Usually you can't, because Ruto's going to talk to you, but you can get around it by doing that. And now we're going straight to the next area, which is Morpha.
So here's a question. How many dungeons are there?
There's 8. There's 8 dungeons. Let's see. I need this, and I need this, and I need this. And now normally when you fight Morpha, first of all, you're fighting it as adults, and second of all, you usually have the hook shot. And even though I have the hook shot, you can't actually use the hook shot as child, which would be very nice if you could. But it soft locks you when you try to use it. So I'm actually going to have to fight Morpha as child without the hook shot. And the way you do that is kind of interesting. It is, if you've never seen it before, it looks really whack. And it can go one of two ways. I can either get really lucky here and the fight can be like 5 seconds, or the fight can be like 45 seconds. So we'll see if I get lucky or not. And I'm gonna get unlucky, of course.
Oh no!
So now I have to wait for this tentacle to come up. And once it does, I'm gonna jump in the water. And that'll make Morpha come out of the tentacle to try and hit you in the water. And while it's out of the tentacle, you can just hit it. And so we're just gonna rinse and repeat this until Morpha's dead.
So you mentioned this is very time-based, and I'd like to remind chat, we don't have much more time left to defeat Ganon. So we need 5 more tickets on that $8 train. Or someone who feels like dropping $34 into the donations, adding it towards beating Ganon. So that would be great, but like I said, there's not too much time left, chat. So get in your donations now.
As an added incentive, during the cutscene that's going to play if we have to beat Ganon, I will do my best to explain the entire plot of Ocarina of Time in that cutscene.
I love it.
That's Morpha dead. No hook shot required. Who needs hook shot from Morpha, am I right?
Sure. Like I said, I've never played this game.
Well, then as far as you know, this is just like all completely normal.
As far as I know, this is all canon and logical and what happens in every single playthrough.
I think me in 1998, I definitely was at the ripe old age of not being born. I was really grinding out the Morpha quick kills with no hook shot. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I meant to drop down, of course. And now everyone's favorite, another angle setup.
Well, you get
Perfect.
that set up. All right. I have, guess what? We're getting closer to Ganon. I've got $24 from Anonymous. 3 more tickets for the train. Ganon must die. So $10 off, chat. We're so close. I want to see Ganon die. I'm not evil, I promise, but Ganon is, so we should totally bonk him on the head.
So there you saw me warping from one boss to another. And this is what I was talking about earlier. That Spirit Void normally puts you at like wherever you need to go. That was an example of what happens if you don't use the Spirit Void. It just happens to work out in this situation. Where you'll still fall into the boss room, and also Goma is dead.
Sorry, I blinked. Where did the boss go?
Turns out the first boss of the game, when you have every item, is actually very easy to beat.
You know, that makes sense.
Even if you don't have every item, that boss is actually very fast to beat. It takes about that long.
I will keep that in mind for when I play for it. I thank you very much.
So another day, another blue warp. We should be used to this by now.
I'm curious, there was a heart back there. Does anything happen if you pick that up, or...?
No, it's just a waste of time to get it.
Alright, that's fair.
Okay, let's see. Alright, perfect. This should take us to our next destination. And here is a good example of what normally happens. However, this cutscene is activated by how low you are on the map and not like any other place. So even though we were way out of bounds, it actually didn't matter at all. And that incentive is going to close after the next boss, by the way. So, last chance.
Come on, chat. $10. I believe in you. Let's fight Ganon.
And we're gonna refill our magic just one more time. Also our hearts. We were down a half a heart, which could have been really bad. Also a thing to note, all the child dungeons and fire temple, the angle that you enter the blue orb actually does not matter. So in all the other dungeons, it does matter, but for the child dungeons and fire temple, it actually does not. Because those dungeons are special for reasons that don't even matter for this run. All right, so next we're going to do this. And here we are, bongo bongo.
So I have an update for you, by the way.
Okay.
We have $10 from Anonymous, and they simply say video games.
Video games.
You know what that? Video games. Video games are fun. You know what else is fun? Fighting Ganon.
Oh, did we meet it? Let's go.
We are met. We are fighting Ganon.
All right, so fighting Bongo as child, you may think that it's like a Herculean feat, but it actually is really not. This guy is very easy. All you gotta do is run into him. And he just dies. He's weak.
Afraid of cooties, clearly. Also, if I hadn't said before, thank you so much, chat, for helping us raise $75 to bonk Ganon. I cannot thank you enough.
Yeehaw. All right, we got a set for Auror's Wind, as we all know at this point. And then I have to pay attention to where Auror's Wind goes, because that's going to inform what I need to do for the angle setup. Any day now. Any day now, we will enter the blue warp.
I believe.
And ta-da, we're at the final boss. actually not the final boss.
No, but I guess for the intents and purposes of right now, this is the final dungeon boss?
Yeah, this is the final dungeon boss. And you may have noticed I was kind of just like stabbing some invisible thing in the lava. That was actually Volvagia. So Volvagia is spawned before the fight starts. And actually there's two different Volvagias.
There's
that
two.
Guy, yeah, that guy is the one that flies around. And I was just hitting him. So now he's already one hit away from death. I just have to basically hit him once and he dies.
Well, that was easy.
And then from there, we get to see some emergent gameplay. Because we kind of came up with this idea on the spot like an hour ago. So I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but you never know. After this, we got to go fight Ganon, which means we have to turn adult. Anyway, there's Volvagia's head, of course. And Doodle, what would you say is your favorite color? Green, blue, or red?
Blue.
Blue? Okay. Understandable. Some may say you're wrong for that, but I think it's a completely valid choice.
Curious, why do you ask that?
Oh, you'll see. Okay, so now we're gonna go to our favorite place on Earth, the Lost Woods. And we're gonna save because we need to do another SRM.
Of course, why wouldn't we?
This one, you've actually seen this one before. Not even a new SRM to be uncovered today.
Is it the one with the rock, or?
This would be the one with the... It's one with the grass.
Alright.
Specifically the one that makes us adult. Because pulling the Master Sword out of the pedestal is slow, obviously.
We gotta grow up fast.
Unfortunate. I did get bombs, though. That's interesting. All right, so let's turn adult. And so, interesting thing, usually if you leave the area, you won't actually turn adult, but if you save and quit, and I'm trying to remember what else I need here, I think this is fine. If I save and quit, and then I reset the console, I will actually stay adult, and I will go to the Temple of Time. But the thing is, actually, I don't know. I've never actually done this before. I think we might not have to watch the Light Arrow cutscene, actually. Oh, perfect. Perfect. I actually had no idea if we were going to have to watch the Light Arrow cutscene or not. That is very nice that we don't have to watch that.
So totally just as planned, right?
Just as planned. Just as planned with all the planning of, like 5 minutes. 5 minutes of planning. I was really worried we were going to have to sit here and watch the Light Arrow cutscene.
I mean, that would have been more time for more marathon, time to raise more money for LinearC. I see no problem with this.
Exactly. That would have been me trying to explain the entire plot of Ocarina of Time if we were going to watch that. But now, we don't even need to do that. We've already watched the entire plot of Ocarina of Time. You go to the Lost Woods, you do some shenanigans, you beat every guy, and then you go to Ganon's castle.
Clearly, like I said, I've never played this game before. This is totally what you do as far as I know. You just warp everywhere, grow up magically, and beat the boss.
Exactly, exactly.
Now, I do know you're playing in Japanese because it's faster. Is that like a default setting when you're playing the game, or do you have to mod it, or how does that work?
So this game is originally a Japanese game. So this is just like a language it was released in. It's not like a mod or anything.
So that's just go into settings, you can change it to Japanese, or?
Actually, no. You cannot go into settings and switch it. It is like its own version.
Gotcha.
So there's an English version, a Japanese version, and then a European version, more colloquially known as the PAL version. So here I'm going to do a trick called a mega side hop. Oh, I don't think that's going to work, actually. That is going to make me go really fast backwards, and then I'm going to equip the hover boots. And I missed. That's totally fine. We can do another glitch. Why not? We can just do every single glitch in the game right now. So here's infinite sword glitch again. But if you shield damage midair while you have infinite sword glitch, usually swinging your sword keeps you from falling. So you can just stick in the air. And normally you'd have to beat all the trials to open Ganon's tower, but you can actually just hit an extra loading zone they have there to skip the trials.
Gotta go fast after all, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. This isn't MST. It's just MS. And so I'm actually going to equip Hammer here just to keep my Giant Snipe from breaking. Because I have Giant Snipe. I don't have Big Goron Sword, unfortunately. And this is that Infinite Sword glitch again, just to kill these guys really fast. And a rarely seen boss key here. It's also been a very long time since I've done the tower, so don't criticize me for my lack of skill here.
I mean, I have no idea. It's like being in the theater. The audience doesn't know you made a mistake unless you tell them.
Exactly, exactly. So that was all obviously exactly the way you're supposed to do that.
100%. I have literally no context for anything else.
All right, and we're almost there. We're almost to our ultimate foe. This is called a hyper-extended super slide. Used in a lot of categories for a lot of different reasons, but this is the only time you're going to see one today. Oh man, the aura. The aura is off the charts. Who even is that guy in the crystal? I've literally never seen this person before in my life. Who's the guy playing the piano? I don't know.
Phantom of the Opera? Mm-hmm.
I guess we did see him in Forest Temple for like a second.
Just a second.
And thankfully we get a full heal there. That would have been tragic if we didn't get a full heal. And he's just gonna yammer on about how much his life sucks, I think. Basically. The aura, man. It's an aura fight for sure. Alright, let's hope we can make everyone proud with our Ganondorf fight skills. Easy. Oh man, we get to do Void Warp too. If you couldn't tell, I did not plan this out at all because I'm just now remembering all the things we have to do.
But it sounds like you're having so much fun doing it.
That's true. Isn't that what playing video games is about? Having fun.
100%.
It's not about suffering or doing things that are almost impossible. Oh, I forgot. You said your favorite color is blue. That's my bad. I actually forgot about that.
It's all right.
No. We can solve this problem because I have to pause again anyways.
We said that. What were the options again? Blue, green, and red.
Yeah.
Well, green.
It's too late. It's too late. You already picked
All right.
blue.
I'm gonna say because like runner up, it's like I like teal, and teal is like blue and green. A little bit of both.
True. Some may say that green and blue are the same color. That might be a deep cut, though.
By the way, speaking of colors as options, we do have options for our next game, the Costume Big Boar. There's not too much time for that. Or not, sorry, let me take this back. It's not our next game, but it is coming up. You do have the option to pick different outfits. So you want Mega Man, you want a clown, you want to be Ken, Nemesis, Riku.
Oh.
You do want to put your donations in toward that as well.
Oh, I'm gonna get trolled. I didn't get trolled. Let's go. So that was the tower collapse sequence. Done just as God intended.
But of course.
And then the kiss, the double kiss. Very necessary for every run. Look at all this cinema. Look at all this cinematography. We could have missed out on so many good cutscenes.
Oh, I see. The tunic is blue.
Yeah, the tunic. I forgot to change it when I went adult.
Now, is that something you could do in the base game too, or?
Yes. It is actually a huge mechanic where you need different colored tunics for different parts of the game.
I see. This is going to be amazing. I can make Link blue.
Exactly. You can blue him.
Abadi abadai.
All right. You asked and we answered. It's time to fight the ultimate foe. Whoa.
The ultimate foe being Navi.
Normally, you don't actually have to beat Ganon in an all dungeon speedrun. And what I would have done... Oh, I just let go of shield, apparently. Normally, what I would have done is I would have just warped to the credits when I warped to the Lost Woods that last time. But there is some discourse about whether Ganon should be required for all dungeons. And so we're just solving that discourse. That's all we're doing here. So this fight, in case you've never played the game before, you have to hit his rainbow tail. All the rest of him is invulnerable. And he does a lot of damage if he hits you.
his tail is a rainbow?
Yeah, look.
Holy crap, it's a rainbow.
Alright, so that's first phase, done. First phase, you get the Master Sword knocked out of your hands. So you're like technically not supposed to be able to do very much damage to him. But with a glitch called Power Crouch Stab, which I never explained, but I've actually done it quite a few times. When you're crouch stabbing, it takes the value of your last attack. Hold on. And so basically I can do Master Sword damage even without the Master Sword. And then just some quick swings with the Master Sword and he's down. Time is coming up soon. There was so much to explain in this run. I forgot to explain some of the like very simple stuff, but it doesn't matter.
Nope,
It's
as long as we had
at the end
fun.
of the day.
Having fun, raising money to help LinearC, that's really all that matters right now.
All right, time now.
GG.
Well, there you have it. Ocarina of Time, all dungeons.
With Ganon.
With Ganon. Yeah, so this run is very interesting. I think it is a lot of fun to watch, especially if you've never seen some of the crazier stuff in this game. If you wanted to learn more about Ocarina of Time speedrunning, you should definitely join their Discord. And if you want to learn more about me or maybe follow me, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/nisenama or on Twitter or Blue Sky at nisenamavt. Thank you guys very much for having me on. And thank you, Doodle, for being my person in the chair for this run. And yeah, I think that's all I got.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much, nisenama, for that wonderful run of The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. If you are just joining us, I am your host, Doodleplex, and this is Lifeline for LinearC, a mutual aid marathon raising money for fellow speedrunner LinearC. From Wednesday, February 18th to Sunday, February 23rd, we're excited to showcase 5 days of action-packed speedruns for her benefit. For the full schedule, type !don't schedule in the chat. And if you want to donate, type !donate in the chat. Coming up, we are going into space with the hatchling, aka PT Minsker, to do some exploring in the outer wilds. But before we blast off to destinations unknown, how about we take a minute to make our ship is ready to go? full of supplies. So I invite you, chat, to maybe get some water, get a snack, take your meds, come back in just a few minutes so we can explore the galaxy well prepared together. See you in a little bit, chat. Hello again, chat friends. We are almost ready to go. But I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's donated so much so far to help LinearC. I also have a small donation, actually a large donation, actually a donation of $1.02 from Iggy Zig, who is going to be the host following me, and Iggy is going to be amazing when they are on the mic. But for right now, they just say no comment. Thank you so much for your generosity. Less than 3, and honestly, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, chat, for your generosity. And by the way, if you want to donate, put your money towards something specifically, we do have a costume bid for the Dead Rising remaster, the Red Rising Deluxe remaster. We have Mega Man, a clown, Ken, Nemesis, or Riku, which is a giant fish. And honestly, that's my vote. But you know what? My vote? You know how I do my vote? I put !donate in the chat. I scroll down, I click the incentive, and I hit add. And that is how I would put my money towards that donation. So, and by the way, chat, by the way, friends, there are 7 runs left to get $1,000 to reach our milestone for Claire A. So about $150 per game or hour, we'll get there. I believe in you, chat. I know you can do it. You help us defeat Ganon. You can help us get to Claire A. I believe in all of you.